Hi, I hope you're doing well. This is part 5 of my testimony that I've been uploading. If you haven't listened to parts 1 through 4, I invite you to go back and listen to them because hopefully this is the last one. In part 4, I ended with my repentance and the moment that I came back to Christ. After having been not walking with him for almost 20 years. So, after that moment, such an emotional and confusing moment, there were some things that I contemplated and wondered for quite a while that I believe God has answered those questions and helped me gain some clarity. So one of the things that I was wondering and questioning was, of all the people in the whole world, what did God want with me? There's nothing special about me. Why did he seek me out? And I thought about that for quite some time, and I think that the answer to that question is apparent to me now. And I believe that, for one, every single one of us is precious in the eyes of God. It doesn't matter. There is nothing special about me, but I am special to God. And there's nothing special about you, but you are special to God. And he will leave the 99 for the one. And so I think that, first of all, there's that. And then second of all, I do believe that, even though I believe in eternal security of salvation, and that, I have been sealed since the day I was saved at the age of 7 years old, I believe that God came to me and put me back on the right track and on the right path for the sake of my children. He blessed me with those children, and I was not raising them in his name. I was not raising them to know him and to love him. And I believe that one of the reasons why he called me back to him was for the sake of my children, and to get me on the right track concerning them and how I was raising them. And so there's that. And then another thing that I really felt like, in those first, few months after I came back to the Lord, was I just felt, the main thing that I felt like was, I felt like God grabbed me by the shoulders and was shaking me and saying, "Wake up." That is how I felt. And at the time it was like, wake up, you're not living right. And I wasn't like into drugs or doing anything horrible. I was a responsible adult. By the world's eyes, I was not living wrong. I was doing everything that I should have been doing. I was living the life of a responsible human being. But I was not living right by God. And I think that, now I know that that's the most important thing. It doesn't, of course we don't want to sin, and we try not to sin, but we're carrying around these horrible, sinful, fleshly bodies, okay? And we're gonna sin. But more important than anything else in this life that we do, whether good or bad, is what we do for God. And I was not raising my children for him. And so, that's how I felt. I felt like God was just shaking me and telling me to wake up. And now, almost 4 years later, because that was November of 2021, and now it is August of 2025. So almost 4 years later, I'm no longer feeling like God is shaking me, grabbing me by the shoulders and shaking me and telling me to wake up. Now I feel like God is telling me to tell the people that I care about and tell the world to wake up. So, you can take that for whatever you think, and take that however you want, however you think it may mean to you. I think that God speaks differently to everyone, but I think that he speaks profoundly, and it's a personal experience. But just open your eyes to the things around you, but then also to the spirit world, and recognize that when you're in Walmart and you're surrounded by people that you don't know, every single one of those people has a soul. They are a soul with a nasty fleshly body, and they are going to spend eternity somewhere, and that eternity is coming so soon. So we need to wake up. We need to open our eyes and recognize the times that we are living in, and recognize the severity of eternity and the reality of our souls. I neglected my soul for almost 20 years, and I just, when God revived my soul, I just felt so malnourished for so long, and I just feel like God really wants me to no longer shout to the world that yes, I'm following Jesus, but now shout to the world that we need to wake up, and we need to start getting serious and realizing the severity of our situation. So anyways, if you have listened this long, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your love. And I hope and pray that this was encouraging for you, enlightening for you. I pray that my testimony helps anyone that is willing to listen. And I know that sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. But anyways, I will catch you guys next time, and I pray that you have a blessed day. Thanks again for listening. Bye.